Hey everybody, I'm Stitch Kitten, and today we are gonna do this Inktober prompt. I have done all of the Inktober prompts so far. I'm so proud of myself. I totally figured I would have dropped the ball by now on that, but thankfully, the other sketch prompts that I do normally, uh, decided I can just put my Inktovers there, and that has taken a lot of the burden of me doing multiple things uh off for that and made that a little bit more manageable for me. Um still almost did not do one, but didn't happen. Now we're here, so good enough. I look very spooky again. I did spend like 5 minutes putting on some little spooky makeup and grabbing crap out of my desk that is jewelry, so effort. Um yeah, sorry. I started up really fast after getting everything set up for you guys, so now I'm kind of feeling like maybe I forgot something, but hopefully this is all fine and apparently I am almost certain now. Um, the little audio issue that I care so very much about doesn't really bother people, and also is probably just me needing a new cord. So I guess we're dealing with that for now. Sorry. Uh, somebody will have to tell me if it gets real bad, because it probably means my cord is about to die. Apparently, um, we're doing our best. My cats. Okay, guys. We love the cats. I know we all love the cats here. I'm gonna chat a little bit while I wait for my brain to get into art mode, and then we'll do drawing. Sorry. Here, we'll get the just chatting mode on, and I can get my coffee. Uh um yeah, okay. So we really like the cats, but I also have this microphone like right here on the edge of my desk, and it is on a movable arm, but the arm is stationary like most of the time. It has like a little basically like an adjuster dial um for keeping it less or more stationary, so I can move it, but if I, turn it to being all the way adjustable, then it's just a free like floating thing, and it is like an up a stand up like arm, like it stands up from my desk. It's kind of cool. It's actually supposed to be a camera stand, but it works really good, and it was cheap. So uh yeah, if I turn it to being all the way adjustable, it just kind of falls over, which is not better than the cord kind of just being sat here for my cats to destroy. uh yeah, I think I'm on cord like 5 now. I've probably stolen like all of the utility cords out of my house at this point. This may actually be the last one. Uh if they break this one, I will have to buy a new one almost certainly. And also, not only that, I'm pretty sure that this whole time I've been using a USB, and I could have just bought like a 3mm audio cord, and probably that would sound better because I don't actually need this to be doing a data transfer for it to be just like an input device. So I mean, obviously, I don't want them to break my only data transfer cable in case I do want to use this really lovely recorder in its self-packaged computer form like it came. Uh, but yeah, so we are on like cord 5. Hopefully this cord uh is all right and everything on my computer can remember where this microphone is and it doesn't die. Technology. I feel like that's like my like I was gonna say catchphrase, but it's not really like a catchphrase. Uh, catch thumbnail face. I just smile and put the. I don't know. I just feel like I have been doing that a lot on camera, and now you guys are gonna notice it. So have fun with that. Maybe somebody could like make it a drinking water game. Uh, okay. So since I've been rambling about the cats for a minute and drinking my coffee, we will repeat what I'm doing today, and I'm gonna stretch because my back is already dying because I'm old. And I got up too late and didn't stretch enough, probably. But, I know everybody gets pissed off when I say I'm old, but I'm gonna keep doing it because I feel old, so have fun with that, guys. Um, Send me lots of money and then I can buy things and feel less old. How about that? I did it again. Anyway, um, okay, so today is 13th of October. It's spooky day. The other spooky day, and that is also cool because after this, guys, is uh it is my other kitty's birthday and we're gonna go give them like a bunch of cheap little nonsense that I bought at the Walmart but that they will like really much and that they will like very much, and I really think that they are gonna get a lot of they're gonna get a big kick out of there's this little frickin' I'm trying to remember what the rope is called. It's like the rope that they put on scratchers and stuff um for I think it's called Silas rope or some crap like that. Anyway, it's just a little raccoon made out of Silas rope and it makes noise when they play with it, so that's gonna be cool. I think they're gonna like that one. And then I also just bought them a bunch of little fuzzy nonsense. Anyway, uh, I think everything still looks like it's working, and my coffee and everything else seems to be working a little bit too. So we are gonna get going here, and today the prompt is Horizon. So I I did do one piece so far that was not really spooky, but I do want to do a spooky piece for most of them, and I feel like there's is gotta be real easy to make spooky Horizon. And I also thought that, like, if we are doing a Horizon piece, this would be a great piece to incorporate little astronaut boy. We haven't done any pieces with him in a minute. Uh, so little astronaut boy will be the centerpiece maybe for this. Like, I feel like we should, since it's Horizon and we're trying to do like a spooky piece, we should have something that is kind of like silhouetted, right? There should be something that is kind of centered and a little bit just shaded darker or stiffer or something, like thicker, maybe just thicker line work. Um but like kind of a centered thing, that stands out in front of presumably a sun or moon or something that's setting. That kind of seems, I mean, it sounds like kind of a basic setup for a Halloween thing, and it is, but I also feel like I can put a lot on top of that that's gonna look really cool and really spooky. So that I think is what we're gonna start out with. And this is one of those I did a little building off stream kind of moments because you guys don't know, but I am currently gonna draw right into that cute little sketch pad that or sorry, right into that cute little marker pad for the sketches that I showed off on the first stream cuz I have been skipping the sketchbook step in the last couple of Inktober pieces. Everybody can gasp now. But I do I have been enjoying the pieces where I just draw directly into the sketchbook after I think about it more. Or sorry, I keep calling it a sketchbook. Into the marker pad, using the marker pad as a sketchbook, um, instead of drawing little thumbnails and just transferring them over. I don't know. I know lots of people have success with thumbnails, and I don't know if I just like sometimes I have a good time with them, but I think for like composed pieces, like scenes and stuff, I usually have a better time if I just draw stuff and I adjust it as I go. I don't know. That is just me, but everybody has different process, so whatever works for you guys. Don't decide you have to get rid of all your thumbnail sketches because I said they don't work for me all the time. Uh, I think, you gotta put something down on the paper at some point. There's a little freaking. Oh, yeah! You guys look at my spook. I also have spooky fingernails. I don't know if you guys have been watching spooky television, but this is from my new spooky month television. And also a repeat of I got this design done like a year ago. Here, I'll start drawing this horizon here, and surely I can do that at least and talk at the same time. But yeah, I got these little spirals done like a year ago or something like that at an actual like nail salon because my sister took me when she got married, and then for a while I did go and get my nails done at the salon and get little acrylics put on and stuff. It was very cute. Uh um yeah, and this was probably my favorite one that I got as a design was these little spirals, and they're based on Uzumaki, which is a tale by a really prolific horror artist named Junji Ito. And I don't know if anybody has been consuming spooky television that isn't just like Halloween Town and uh what else are the like kids classics? Goosebumps, the, you know, uh, all of that lovely Western television, but also one of the new ones that uh just is coming out right now, and then also uh has like a smaller episode section in like a long Netflix series is this tale called Uzumaki, which is a horror story by this really prolific Japanese horror artist named Junji Ito, and he is super cool. Um, as an artist, I don't know anything about him as a person, so if somebody's gonna come tell me he's terrible, just maybe don't. I don't want to know. But but yeah, no, he writes really cool horror stories, and I have read a lot of them. Um, and then also there is a there is like a TV adaptation now of some of he writes graphic novels, by the way. When I say reading, I mean I read some words and mostly look at the pictures. But you know, he does write and draw really cool horror stories that are kind of meant to be abstract, and he does something that I think a lot of horror misses out on, which is the cat. Hi, Bubby. It's the birthday, Bubby. Happy birthday. Okay, bye bye. He's so cute. He's gonna go hang out with my girlfriend, I think. Anyway, but yeah, so Uzumaki is one of his more famous ones. He's known for being a little bit more abstract, a little bit more like psychological horror rather than jump scares and stuff, you know. Not that you can really do jump scares the same way in text and picture format. Uh but yeah, what I was saying before is he does something I think a lot of horror misses out on, and that is that he does this thing with his artwork where he purposefully uses the fact that it isn't uh physical medium, right? That it isn't live people that he has to manipulate into the scenes or generate computer imagery of to essentially use that medium, like the drawing medium, in an abstract way that you couldn't with that physical space, right? Like if you have a bunch of live action actresses and actors, and just like you have a bunch of people standing about and they all have to perform their lines and be in the right places, and if you have to contort them or move them in a way that the physical human body can't, right, then you have to pay for that. But you don't have that same limitation with an art medium, right? Like if you are paying somebody to draw stuff, then it it doesn't really matter if the people they are drawing are in appropriate people positions, right? So, because of that, I think a lot of like drawn and written horror gets into these like abstract psychological spaces that are really hard to get into with live action mediums. Um, and I think Junji Ito does that really well. And I think that that's probably a big part of what makes him so prolific. Um, and Uzumaki is the Japanese word for spiral. So we have the little spirals. That's what they are, by the way. They're like spooky little spirals. They're so good. I love them so much. I'm probably gonna keep showing them off. Because I did them all by myself, and even with my other hand. Guys, having a left hand is really cool. Did you know that? My little frickin' cyst was actually so terrible. I kind of didn't realize how bad it had gotten. Thank you, Western Healthcare. Uh, lovely, lovely. Anyway, but yeah, the little spirals are so good, even on my other hand, and I really think that I really think that the new show that I have been watching is a good representation of his artwork. I was worried that because it's not live action, right? But it is a television show, and Junji Ito does a lot of still frame artwork, so there's this kind of still like suspense almost built into the fact that it is in panels, right? Like you are purposefully drawn from one image to the next in a way that I think adds a lot to the story itself. And I thought that, and it's also very artistic stylistically, right? Like it's very lined and it's very, very detailed. And when I say abstract, I don't mean that the images themselves are like unreadable, because it's very clear what the images are, but it's just abstract in the sense that they aren't, they're like fantasy images, right? They're not necessarily based in physical reality. And and that he sometimes uses the parts that aren't physical reality, and makes them unreadable because you don't know what they are, right? And not necessarily because the images aren't clear, right? And uh, I was really worried a lot of that was gonna get lost in like a moving picture, right? That even if it's still hand drawn and animated, like it's going to move around and the characters probably are going to have, depth, etc. Things that might take away from the very stylized detail that he puts into his pieces. But I think they did a really good job. Oh gosh, I think my girlfriend told me who it was. Or no, she told me who something else was that's coming out now. Never mind. I don't know who it is that's making Uzumaki right now, but it was really good. I've watched the first couple of episodes. Um, and they do keep his very artistic stylized quality. Um, I mean, I think as best as you possibly could have in a moving medium. They don't add color to his art. It's all black and white animation. Um which sounds like it would be uninteresting, and I was a little bit thrown at first about it, but it very quickly draws you in with the storytelling and the way that the images are portraying his artwork, that I think it probably isn't going to matter to most people who are interested. Um, it it really is just like, I don't. It just is. like a live version of his work. I think they did do a really good job. And Uzumaki is this tale about, and I'm not going to spoil it in case you do want to go watch it, but the premise of the story is that, um, spirals occur like everywhere in nature, basically, and you can get lost in anything, right? That's kind of the premise of the whole story. Um, so the whole story is this big psychological horror about how, like, no matter who you are and no matter what kind of a position you're in and no matter what it is that you think of yourself, like, if you focus too hard on anything, right? If you spiral, about anything, like, it will consume you, right? And that is the basic premise for the story. And it becomes like in Uzumaki, it becomes like a very physical manifestation of that. And this is the part where I'm not going to spoil very much because there's only a couple of episodes out anyway for the TV show if you wanted to go watch it instead of reading like a silly person um who wants to like read or whatever. But if you want to watch the TV show, not very much of the story is out, so I don't want to say very much. Um but it is super good, and I think definitely worth a watch or two if you are interested in just kind of like weird horror, like horror that isn't necessarily, you know, jump scares and spooky demon whatevers. If you don't, if you want to watch like, I don't know, I don't know what would be like he's very, I'm sure there are plenty of Japanese horror stories that are a lot more like his, but being here from the US, he seems very unique to me. Um and I don't have a lot of comparisons for him, but he is really really fun to read. I don't have a better description. Sorry, I was trying to think of a better adjective, but nah, he is just really enjoyable to consume his media. And yeah, I think his horror stories are all really pretty profound. They all do kind of just tickle like your brain a little bit in a way that you aren't really allowed to put down after you stop watching. And I really like horror movies like that. And I know uh some people are not little stress goblins like me and they would prefer to leave their anxiety in the theater. And that is also totally cool. And if that is you, this one is maybe not for you. Because I think about Uzumaki, I have consumed now like a couple of different forms of it, and it just kind of takes up a little like it has its own little special place in my brain. Uh like it's just always kind of something I think about when like horror stuff gets brought up because it's so, it just has its own little special place in my brain and my heart and all of that, it's really good. I think it probably is one of my favorite stories. It doesn't have a movie as far as I'm aware, but I haven't, you know, Googled it for some reason. Maybe it does have a movie and it's just like old. And I wouldn't know, you know, because I didn't Google it or search it somewhere else. I don't know. Google is being kind of crap lately. I don't know if that is a shared sentiment. Sorry, Google, please pay me. I'm kidding. But also, kind of not really. I don't, I can't ever find like freaking anything useful in those little AI overview things, and they're just so much space, even on desktop and not like on my little phone where all the ads are huge. Uh, it's still so much of the search result. And I have gotten like a bunch of surveys about like why is this crap, and I have told them exactly why I think it's crap, and it's still there, and I can't toggle it, and oh yeah, and then also apparently like you have to if you want to sign out of like your account now, you have to sign out of like all of your accounts, and that was so dumb when I found that out. I was there's like actually no way to sign out of just like one account for everything unless you go to like a different device and kick yourself out. It's so dumb. Uh, the internet is silly sometimes. I I don't know. I was gonna say I should and then give myself a project, but then I thought of like a million projects instead of just one, and now I don't want to do any of them. Brain problems. Um I want to make this more spooky, but I don't know what to add. I don't want to. Here, what if we just Google references for like spooky night sky? Hmm. Oh yeah, I guess we could have like okay, true. We could have like some spooky trees like coming into the foreground, you know, and then maybe like some bats or something in the back. Bats sound cool. Uh there's gotta be bats that come out in the daytime, right? Not in caves? Surely. I don't know of any, but I'm sure they exist. Um, my hair is a mess, guys. I'm seeing it on the camera and I'm looking at the same thing you are. It's so bad. Ooh. Anyway, I need to wash it again probably. My hair makes me wash it so often. Or not even wash it, just stuff it full of moisture and conditioner. Um, it's so dry, my hair and the air and everything. Everything is dry. My hair hates it, and so does my skin. It's terrible, guys. Uh, I should drink more water. I have drank just coffee this stream, huh? Maybe I should play the water drinking game where every time I notice myself doing that, I drink water. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling and if I remember next time I do that. Oh, sorry. Did I just like destroy everybody's ears? Uh Banging the freaking pencil on the desk. My bad. Okay. I think I'm gonna add just like one spooky tree right here and then one spooky tree on the other side and they can be kind of like a frame, you know? Spooky. Are you guys doing something fun for spooky month? I so far am just hanging out with the cats uh for spooky month, but I may dress up anyway depending on whether or not I can get my act together on my costume here soon. I have been playing a lot of video games this year, and so even though I do have a very serviceable and even an unworn wig from a cosplay from last year. I don't know if I did my your cosplay for you guys last year for Halloween. I don't know if that was early enough for that. Hmm. Was I even streaming in October last year? Maybe I wasn't streaming. Maybe I had quit by then. I quit for a little bit cuz I don't know if you guys see my lovely rosy complexion. I didn't even tell you guys. Oh my gosh, so many things to tell you guys this week. But here, I'll finish talking about costumes first. And then I'll talk about my rosy complexion. But yeah, no, I don't remember if I did that for you guys last year or not, but I don't think I did it now that I am talking about it. And I do have unworn wig and stuff from that, but I ordered some contacts for that last year and despite everybody telling me don't do that, I ordered them on the internet and for from not a glasses website, from just random contacts website, and one of them came with like a big old tear down the center and they wouldn't give me my money back. So that was really cool. Um and by that I mean it stunk cuz they were like 30 frickin' dollars plus like international shipping. It was terrible. Uh that actually sucked like a lot and made me not want to do it again. Um but the rest of the cosplay is still very cool. Uh I also am gonna wear it for something else in February. Usually in February they have this Japanese festival uh in my state. It's not even anywhere by me. Uh but it's very cool and I go with either my partner or like people that it doesn't. I think last year I went with my partners and who all came to what yeah, my partners came and then also our friend uh who is like our friend from real life and we know in person and lives around here. They hijacked a ride on our road trip, which was actually pretty fun. And then we met with some other people that don't live with us or don't live by us, but also don't live with us, but don't live by us, and had driven up there themselves. So that was cool. And yeah, I don't know if I want to wear it to that and to Halloween, so we'll see if I get my act together. And if I do, I wanted to cosplay as Ash Ketchum. We'll see. I I really like Pokemans. I don't know if you guys have noticed that through my many Pokemans artworks. Ugh, I'm gonna stretch. But yeah, I really like uh Pokemans, and I don't know if you've noticed, but uh I don't have my little non-binary pin on today, but I'm only a girl sometimes, so you know, I think it's fun to not pick exclusively uh you know, sex bunny type freaking Halloween costumes. Um like I think the very first time I did that, I was quite small and I wanted to go as Batman, and people were like, "You can't go as Batman. You're like a girl. You have to go as like Batgirl." And I was like, "Nah, screw that. I want to go as Batman." And you know, that was kind of a trend for me. It was nah, screw you guys. I'm going home. And yeah, so I did go as Batman because screw you guys. And not you guys, but you know. And then yeah, after that I was kind of just like, well, you know what? I did it once, and after I like was actually dressed as Batman, nobody gave a shit. So, that was fine, and I was like, okay, well, you know, after everybody threw a hissy fit about it, nobody actually cared, so I'm gonna just do what I want now. And now I just switch it up every couple of years for Halloween. And we've definitely had a couple good years of some little frickin' cute costumes. Like for the your dress. Oh, smacking my notebook here. Sorry about that. Uh I don't actually have like a cosplay dress for your, but I do have this like little red sweater vest that has a lot of cleavage in it. Like, you know, those little heart cutout things in the center. It has one of those, and it's very cute. Um, but it's also definitely like kind of the the aged up version of the your cosplay, just slightly. And when I wear it uh out, you know, as a costume, I do have to put like some pins in the middle so that it stays exactly where it's supposed to, because otherwise it is a problem. uh yeah. Yeah, I should, you know what? Some people apparently said that you can use carpet tape for stuff like that. I don't know if this is true, so don't quote me on that. I don't know if carpet tape is like safe for your skin or any. I kind of assume it has to be, right? Because it's on carpets, but maybe not. There's plenty of stuff that is not safe for your skin that people put in stuff you're supposed to put on your skin. So, you know what? Do what you want, but also I'm not officially endorsing that because I don't know if that's actually safe. So check first if that's safe. Uh, because I have no idea. But also, some people did say you could use carpet tape for getting stuff to stick in place. I and I'm almost certain that I could just like either purchase most of the pieces of this costume like really cheaply. I kind of feel like it's probably a really common costume where I could just buy lots of stuff for it. But I say that and then uh my boyfriend tried to go buy this freaking pumpkin head that seems like it would be really typical too and can't find one like anywhere that he likes, so um who knows. Well, look, uh this is coming out really cool. I really am enjoying the way the trees are framing this up a little bit. And we'll put some bats here, and I think that'll be good to start inking maybe. Um, I'm gonna put some more little branches in first though. And maybe take this one out. I don't know if I like that one as much. Uh, sorry. Anyway, I was talking about costumes and yeah, I think Ash would be fun. And then I can show off my frickin' 12-year-old level Japanese, you know. Uh Nobody can say anything cuz I will be, you know, dressed as anime child. It'll be great. Uh and also I will have to buy white eyeliner, I think, before I do the your cosplay again, and I don't really want to do that. Um, because my white eyeliner died. And I'm pretty sure I can get away with my eyes looking like my eyeballs for the Ash cosplay. But Yor has like really striking eyeballs and like a really sharp face. And so I feel like if I don't put a lot of like anime makeup on my face for that one, it stands out more. Um I mean, I maybe don't, which is kind of more character your, but like yeah, it doesn't I don't think it reads as the character quite as well as when I have my face all done up. And unfortunately, in literally the year that it's been sitting on uh my countertop, not even like, you know, I was gonna say not all that long, but I guess a year is a while. How long is eyeliner supposed to last? I feel like it's definitely supposed to last more than a year. I have eyeliners that have lasted a really long time, like a like like a for real long time, like not a year, like many years, like uh a, an amount of years that people would not make fun of me for um my age in both directions somehow. The perfect appropriate amount of years, whatever that is. Yeah, I don't know. It just maybe I'll Google it. How long is eyeliner supposed to last? 6 months? You're supposed to buy new freaking liquid eyeliner every 6 months. That stuff is so expensive. What? That's terrible. I Bruh. Okay, well, apparently I am supposed to buy a new one anyway, of like my black one too, but I probably won't because I am cheap and consistently actually it says that give using old here PSA guys because I'm gonna be nice to myself, so you guys be nice to yourself too. Apparently using eye products, like eye makeup products that are uh over 6 months old that are liquid, can give you conjunctivitis, which if you don't know is like big red eye. It's like pink eye. It's like not cool. So don't get bacteria in your eyeballs from using old makeup products. Maybe I will go throw out my black eyeliner too. That sucks. Anyway, um oh, I didn't even look. Can I keep my pencils? Are my pencils okay? Here, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out together if we can keep eye pencils. It also says that some products have different lifespans, though. Eye pencils, you gotta frickin' 2 years. Gosh, dang it. Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. I think I found. Oh, wait, okay. So, okay, so it says if it's like not a gel, if it's like a solid cake pencil thingy, you're still supposed to throw them out after 2 years. Frick, guys, all my makeup is definitely older than that. I cannot believe that I'm supposed to get like all new makeup every couple of years. That sounds like it's gotta be a scam. Can you I should look into making my own long lifespan makeup. That would be awesome. I bet I could totally do that. I'm a scientist. Not that kind, but I could be. Uh, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe uh I will totally buy new ones because I have no shmoney, but we'll see. Apparently though, makeup is a really good place for bacteria to grow in general, which kind of makes sense because it's usually like oil and pigments and stuff. It would be like if you had a tube of paint that was liquid paint that like sat in your bathroom. So sad. And I guess maybe if you have like one of those makeup sterilization cooler thingies, uh that just like UV sterilizes all of the freaking. That might work. I don't know. I don't know. It would have to be like a real one and not one of those ones that just has like a black light on it. Because there are definitely some little scam UV sterilizer thingies. Uh, hmm, maybe we just want like one bat. Oh no, I got rid of my bat references because I was looking at eyeliner lifespan. Anyway, uh, I I can use cheap face paint or something for Ash Ketchum cosplay that requires very little makeup. Uh, I might want to put some pencil or something in my little eyebrow dip so that that's not so obvious, but who knows? Maybe I'll just use it to my advantage. Maybe I'll take one out of the other side and it can be like my anime eyebrows or something. Okay. Guys, I gotta use the little people. I gotta stop saying that too. I didn't realize that. Anyway, um, I gotta go use the restroom. So, I'm gonna do that and also stretch because my back is starting to cramp up. Um, because I didn't before I sat down, and now it's getting to me. And yeah, so I am gonna go do that, and then we will draw these cute little bats, and then yeah, and I'm gonna put a sticky note down for you guys, because I don't want to put the BRB right on our final art piece here. So we'll put it here, and I'll put my little eraser down on it so that it stays down. And we'll do our little stick guy doing a stretch. Big stretch. Ta-da! Okay. And what am I clicking now? Okay. And we will be right back, guys. Okay. Uh, we're back, I think. I think everything is back on. Take away my little sticky note. This is easy as 1, 2 sticky note. Sorry, I'm being a little bit silly today. Oh, you know what? I can tell you guys why I'm being a little bit silly and also talk about my rosy complexion. Look, we brought it back. Callback meme to when I was gonna talk about that, and then I talked about dressing up like Ash Ketchum for Halloween for like 20 minutes or whatever it was. Uh, yeah, anyway, sorry, I'm looking at my little bat references. I want to make sure my bat looks okay. I'm gonna put some bats here in the front, while we talk. Um, but yeah, so I don't know if you guys remember. Oh, hello. We're just doing little Inktober, and I was about to talk about my brand new, uh, my brand new thing that I found out when I went to go, ask about, uh, first time persons, won't know, but if there are not first time persons here, um, and first times persons can figure it out, uh, I have been going to see some people about my insides for frickin' forever. Um, and they finally figured out something that's actually wrong with me. It's crazy. It has been so long, and apparently, the thing that's actually wrong with me is just like my regular, like, gut, like, bacteria and stuff is just overgrown. Like, there's just too much of it. And that isn't something you would typically catch on, like, any test, basically. And that is the it was so simple, and you wouldn't catch it on anything basically, because it's just my gut bacteria that's supposed to be there. Wouldn't look different or anything really, but cause a bunch of problems. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I was feeling self-conscious about my hair because I was talking about I need to wash it probably, or put conditioner in it. I don't actually wash it all that much. It's usually pretty dry, um but thanks. Uh the curls are kind of one of those things that's like it's kind of one of those grass is greener on the other side type of things, I think, because they are a lot of effort. I think I'm gonna take this bat and not draw big old cartoon bat head on it, though. I think I'll probably just do like some little antennas or something, like kind of like a bat symbol. Yeah, thanks. They're all mine. I don't have to put them in my head. They're just there. Um so my hairstyle is kind of like put it in place and hope it doesn't fall out. But thank you. I do try to make sure that they don't look too frizzy and terrible most of the time. Sometimes I get into a little bit of cave goblin art mode and don't wash or condition as much as I should. But uh Epic. Well, the sketching part I think we'll probably be done with here soon-ish, but you are welcome to sit and watch and sketch or whatever. Um, I am currently doing this for the the little Inktober prompt for people that are tuning in. Uh, yeah, yeah. Mine are actually like super heavy and my hair is really thick, so when my hair was a lot longer, um there were less like individual curls, but my hair also was just kind of generally a mess. So I don't know if I took care of it like I take care of it now. Uh yeah, well, I mean, or whatever, but I was just, I'm gonna be done with the sketching part soon, but the sketching, uh, is for all of my lovely pens. I was looking at the left side, but they're over here. And I think after having used all of them for quite a bit of this Inktober stuff, and these are out of the Art Snacks box. I haven't said that yet this stream anyway. So if you guys don't know what Art Snacks is, it's like loot box but for art supplies. Except instead of like Gimber or anything, it's like uh just a set amount of like retail pricing that you would spend on some art supplies, and then like kind of like a grab bag at the store or something. It just has like specific sets of like colored pencils or like watercolor supplies, stuff like that, and then it'll just be like random colors or like a set of like a couple of brushes that are just like weird little shapes, stuff like that. Uh it's a lot of fun, but I think my favorite out of this set that I got for Inktober is this pen that apparently is made with like eyeliner fibers. I don't know what that means. I think it's just synthetic fiber. I don't know what eyeliner is worth. Ah, yeah. I mean, see, I used to think that because I got I got born with a little bit of aptitude for lots of stuff, and um I think honestly talent is like really cool if you want to be good at one single thing, right? Like if you have like a base talent and that is what you do for the rest of your life, like talent is really cool. Um but otherwise, I think it's a little bit overrated because like I have done a lot of stuff, right? Over the course of my existence. Like I am, technically a scientist. uh I have like a whole, oops, sorry for bumping the camera there a little bit. uh I have like a whole science degree, and like play a bunch of instruments, and I have done art for like a really long time, but I did also kind of have some aptitude for it when I was younger. And I ended up like, yeah, digital art is super fun, and honestly, uh like traditional supplies are expensive and you have to keep paying for them. So, I also really like digital art. I'm not as good at it as traditional art. And that is because I think that, like I said, talent is a little overrated, and I have put so many hours into just like random doodles and sketching and BS that like I would never have imagined with just talent, even like if I had drawn just as much, that I would draw as well as I do now. Uh and I also think that like if I had put those same amount of hours into digital art, like my digital art would be really good. I just didn't do that because I didn't have access to it at the time. And so I feel like talent is really cool. If you want to be good at one thing and you never quit and you also then practice anyway, uh but I feel like that is the case for very, very few people. Like, there are very few people that are born with aptitude for one thing and then they go out and just do that thing. And I feel like probably lots of those are spectrum people. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I have put in a lot of effort, and I think that effort and talent get conflated a lot, but uh but I think when you like end up going in your head, right, like, oh, all of these artists are so talented and all of these artists are so cool and good at art, and then it's like it's not it's giving them like less credit, but it's also giving yourself less credit because like if you give lots of people, you know, like just like they have talent, right? Like then it's like I can't do that because I don't have talent, right? It's like, but I think for the most part, like all artists that you like that are talented probably have been drawing for years and years and years and refining whatever. Oh, I can make all sorts of crap. I I have these cute little polymer clay earrings that are little skateboards that I made for myself that I really like. Or oh, the other day I had kind of like a maker spree moment and hurt myself with a hot glue gun, but I also built the majority of one of those little like hand crank string winders for myself because I was doing this knitting project for my cats, and I decided that I really didn't like that my yarn was just like in these big clumpy whatevers, and I was like, that can't be that hard to make. And then I spent like a bunch of hours making one out of cardboard and wires and crap. Um, and I mean, it's pretty much done, other than here. I guess I could kind of show you guys. It's like super janky, but it's just sitting here waiting for me to finish it. It's like, I don't know if you guys have seen these. They're like little rotating winder things. And then they like this, right? I would attach to the crank part and it would spin, and then this part would wind string up for me. And then this is just a base made out of cardboard. But it's all pretty sturdy. Uh I'm pretty sure it's gonna work after I build a little hand crank. Um yeah. Uh I built a shelf, but I can't really show you guys my shelf. My camera is on my computer, so uh but I do have a little shelf with lots of little figures on it that's I build all sorts of crap out of cardboard because I just have a lot of boxes lying around. And I have a hot glue gun, and that empowers me to decide I can make lots of things out of boxes. So, I have like a little cardboard shelf or some little cardboard organizer things. Uh, I yeah, I have a lot of space in my brain for making crap. Um, and I also have a lot of different like handwork skills. Uh, so it just I also my degree is in computer science, so I kind of really like problem solving and like engineering and things. So I end up just problem solving like stuff about my office. Uh and then I build things. Uh but yeah. I'm trying to think if I have any other big crafts projects about at the moment, but oh, you know what? I guess oh, I don't know what that stands for. Sorry, I'm super bad at acronyms. Um, but I do have. I was gonna show off these little my little skateboards. And I don't think you were here, but I was showing off my cute little Junji Ito inspired spiral nails uh that I did myself even on this hand, which is my dominant one, so I had to do it with the other one. Ah, okay, okay. Yeah, no, robotics are super cool. I didn't do much like hardware stuff in school, but I do think it's super interesting. Um, there is a lot of like I think a lot of mostly interface stuff that I think would be super cool to learn about just because I end up having a lot of random weird accessibility issues with the technology that I'm using, either through like compatibility with other systems because I like using a lot of different types of technology. Like I have my iPad and then my old Windows computer. Uh yeah, designing is very cool. But I do not know enough about hardware to do any robotic design. I could draw a robot, but it wouldn't be like functional or anything probably. I could draw a robot that would be functional in the sense that I understand how like anatomical structures work and I could draw like an android figure that, you know, had features, but I wouldn't necessarily yeah, no, I can't imagine that it would be easy to design any type of robotics. Uh, I remember like way back in high school, cause I'm so freaking old. I did some even just like really basic programming with those Vex robots that are they're just like super accessible little C programming robots. I don't know if you have played with those before. I think they're pretty popular most places, but uh well, most places with, you know, robotics being accessible. But I did end up using some of those for like a little contest once. That was just like a school thing. Uh, those are a lot of fun. I can do something like that. I am the software guy usually. Uh, if your TV is not working or like you need assistant program on your computer or you gosh forbid want me to like fix an actual problem uh on a system or something, uh that's usually my area, and less so like actually physically putting things together. um I my girlfriend is way better at hardware than me. Actually, it's pretty terrible. My computer likes her more too. Well, I don't know about that. Uh I definitely met some dummies in CS, but that's fine. I mean, it's definitely different. I think it's probably it attracts a lot of people with critical thinking skills because it's just a very different. Yeah, data science is definitely not one of my favorites, but only because I had to use like a really crap program in mine. Um I had to use this little suite for a programming language called R, and it was not fun. It was not. I haven't probably opened that suite in ages, but it was not a very accessible suite, and you had to do a lot of really complex like imports and exports of information. Um, and then on top of that, you had to use like some linear algebra, and linear algebra was not a prerequisite for the class. I hate when they do that. They're like, you don't need to know how the math works. You can just memorize functions. And it's like, I would really like to know how the math works, but thank you. Uh yeah, programming. I think I like programming because it is a lot of like it feels a lot like doing just a puzzle to me. Like it feels a lot more. I guess it's probably just because I have gotten a really good grasp on it. Um but I really like programming conceptually, and so it ends up feeling very uh problem solving and fun for me to do. Oh yeah, I'm not a fan of math. I am math is one of those things where I'm I'm good at it and I can do it, but it all has to be on paper or in a calculator, and if I mess something up, I'm not going to notice. Uh just because of the way that my brain reads stuff, and that makes programming really great for me because I can just check my math. But yeah, linear algebra on paper is not so great. And I do remember we had to take this like, oh gosh, what was that even called? It was like, I think it was called like discrete maths or something like that. I think discrete maths was like my most ambivalent class. Uh it was very cool and I really enjoyed learning about it theoretically. I thought that it was super interesting to learn about as a concept, and it is basically just like a class about like math on individual segments of data, right? So math without like partials, basically computer math, with bits and pieces. Um and it ended up being a lot of proofs, and the tests, I did all right on the tests, but I'm not good at taking tests in general, and the tests were a lot of like figure it out in real time, like what you're even supposed to be doing for this type of problem, because it's like a little bit case by case. And also they were just long problems where there was a lot of opportunity for you to make mistakes, because they were like just big proofs and stuff, and that is kind of like a nightmare scenario for me test wise. I know some people really love those tests where it's just like one problem and you can focus on like one or two problems like the whole class, but that just is terrible for me because I usually, when it's those kinds of tests, I will finish a lot faster than other people, um because I do less of the second guessing. Oh no, with the tests or with the drawings. I didn't think the drawing was that spooky, so hopefully it's the test. Tests are spooky. Um but yeah, anyway, but the teacher was super cool for that class, and it was a fun concept. Oh yeah, yeah, tests are spooky. It is spooky month though. Um, you can prep for tests in spooky month and be a little spooked about them. That counts, right? Everybody gets to be afraid of something. Uh, yeah, I totally agree. I think teachers are probably a big important part of the class, and this that was actually probably one of my favorite enjoy like classroom experiences. Um, yeah, that's pretty true. I got like really close to 100% in ancient Egyptian history, which was like some random general education course, just because I really liked the teacher and he was easy to listen to, and his tests basically required you to listen to him and know the things that he was saying, and I just wrote everything down, and that was great. I that was so good. Um and Yeah, but probably the discrete math class was like my favorite classroom experience other than the tests. Just because that teacher had been teaching the class, I think he said for like 25 years or something. Like he'd been teaching that specific class for like a really long time. Um and he had like his own textbook for the class, and it was super cool. And yeah, nah, he made everything really interesting and fun. Yeah, nah, it's crazy amount of time. Like I can't imagine teaching. I have barely been alive, you know. I I can't imagine teaching that long. That's like my whole life just teaching. as crazy. Like, if I wanted to stop making everybody mad that I say that I'm old all the time, there's me feeling less old because that guy was super cool, and I'm sure he was like 60 or 70 or something. And he must have been in like really great shape. I am just from like the south, kind of southwest-ish. Uh Originally I used to be from Iowania, but I don't want to like say too much about where I am now just cuz I don't want to make anybody be weird. But um yeah, I'm down in uh I think I have said my state before, so I'm down in just like AZ area, but it's very dry. Cactus, California near here. Uh but yeah, people get kind of weird, I think, when we talk too much about where I'm from, being from the US, cuz I think probably most of the people that watch me are not from the US, according to all of my stats and crap. Ah, epic. Well, I think now that most of here, I'm gonna get these trees out of here a little bit better, but even though I talked up this little eyeliner pen for Inktober stuff, I think most of these drawings so far I have inked with these microns, just because I don't want to use all of this up doing everything with it because it's very small. But these microns, I think I have had a bunch of these since before the Inktober box. Um, and those are probably some of my favorite cheap pens. Uh, I yeah, I don't actually even know how many I have. I can get my little. I have a little tin of pens and crap, but like, yeah, I have like a whole section for microns here on the side. Uh, because I really like those, and they are relatively inexpensive for, nice ink pens. Nice ink pens are kind of some money. Traditional art supplies in general are kind of some money. I can't buy freaking pencils without spending money anymore. It's crazy. Uh, but yeah, those pens though, I think here, let me see. I have the little Ink Snacks menu thingy, which is just like a little paper that has all of the promotional information for uh the things they sent me. But yeah, so these pens came in a set of 3, and it the micron pens, it said retail would have been $10 for 3 of them. So they're like $3. Um and I'm pretty sure that I could buy them just like at Walmart or something. I don't even think I would have to go to a craft store. I think they usually do have them just at office supply section of whatever. I see them with the Uniballs a lot. And yeah, I'm sure that lots of crap is cheaper up in Cali than it is here. Um and somehow I still get to pay 10% sales tax. It's so cool. Uh or whatever the heck it actually is. It's that's rounded, I think. But uh I'm trying to decide if I want to add anything last minute to this drawing, but I think I'm gonna just ink it. I think I don't want to add anything else. I am gonna finish taking these trees out of the top though. I'm just kind of stalling because as soon as I have a lot more experience with the sketching than I do with the inking, because traditional art supplies are expensive and I have typically had no money. Uh, I have no idea. I mean, you just said so. I have no reason to believe that you aren't. But maybe you're not. This is the interwebs. I'm not looking at the data at the moment. Sorry, I thought that was something. Was that not what you said? I'm kind of talking. Uh, maybe I missed something. Compared to some art supplies that are also ink pens. Uh, yeah, I think we don't need anything else. I think this is plenty in the frame. Um, okay, so yeah, I think anything that is from the Sakura uh pen company is just probably generally a really good thing. I haven't had any problems with like any of their pens pretty much, and I get all sorts of them if I buy ink boxes usually. I don't know if it's just like I don't know if it's this actual company or if it's like the parent brand has really good like regulation or something, but these pens are super good pens. I really like them. And like I said, they're like $3 a piece or something. Um, yeah, I'm sure there are plenty of places where those are way cheaper. Stuff here is kind of expensive. Uh, but yeah, they are like $3 a piece or something like that. And I can't imagine spending less than $3 a piece and getting something as nice as this. Uh, I have a really good time using these. You can see on the camera these lines are really nice and pretty dark, and even with the paper looking a little bit washed out, uh they stand out a lot. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure with import export stuff they have varying prices. um I just can't imagine spending less than $3 here on anything else that's nice. I don't have like a real local hobby store or anything like that. Unfortunately for me. I have to buy all of my art supplies off of the internet or from big business. It's so sad. Ah, very cool, very cool. I think you're maybe the first person who said that one, so congratulations. I guess, I don't know. Congratulations to me for expanding. Something like that. Uh, I think we have gotten some people that said they were from London. Um, I think somebody just said Europe. Uh, Now I feel like I'm being quizzed and I am gonna remember nothing. Um, but you know, I got two. That's gotta count for something. I think on YouTube, my little stats thingy told me that some people watch me from like the Netherlands, so that was kind of cool. Um, I know some artsy people from the Netherlands online that are pretty epic. Um, if uh if you have never heard of this person, they do a lot of really cool projects, but there's a person called Martina from Nerdforge, and she does all sorts of really cool stuff, and she is from the Netherlands. I mean, again, this is the internet. I just, if people are here, I mean, maybe they were just fibbing to me, but I have no reason to care where you guys are from for the most part. I'm just here hanging out. Drawing spooky little trees. Yeah, digital art is a lot of fun though. Obviously, uh, Inktober, Inkbox. I feel like I probably have a lot of good reason to do the ink stuff, but I did buy a whole iPad as a graduation present to myself. Um, because I worked really hard in college and there was no way I was ever gonna budget for the amount an iPad costs. It is a ridiculous amount of money. And I mean, if you want like a nice newer one, which I did, and the little Bluetooth pencils were newer at the time, and I hadn't really found like a tablet stylus that worked that way. Uh, and I really, really wanted to have that as a drawing experience. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I think it's probably the closest analog to a traditional art supply that I've found in a stylus, and that was really enjoyable for me. I have a lot of problems with like wanting to adjust my hand when styluses don't put the lines down just right. And just I end up making my lines look really wobbly and goofy when the styluses aren't working quite right. And I uh, I I was really excited about doing animation on Procreate Dreams when that came out, and that was kind of a flop for me. I did buy it. It is on my machine, and I did figure out how to use it, but I don't know. I like audio a lot, and doing animations with audio on the iPad is really kind of terrible. I think mostly just because of the way it imports and exports audio, it ends up sounding really crunchy. Um, and I I really liked when I used this other one. Oh gosh, I'm so bad at names. Um, is this it? I think this is it. Is it? Yeah, okay. I really liked using Calipeg, which is like also an iPad software for animation, but um I think Procreate Dreams kind of took the wind out of my sails, and I bought that one afterwards thinking it was going to be really nice experience. It just wasn't that good. Yeah, uh I would really like to do animations on my PC. Um but I just have a hard time doing digital art on my PC. Hi, Bubby. My cat is here to say hi. Hi, sweets. He hanging out. He's gonna come hang out, guys. He's so cute. I love my cat so much. He's actually been so good for my mental health, I think. Oh, because he just makes me smile a little bit, and smiling is good for you. He's such a cutie. They're both cuties. This is Missile on the floor right now. Oh, I do play plenty of games. I was just saying I have been playing a lot of video games this year. Um and yeah, pets are, I think, in general just good for mental health in general. If you have enough mental health to take care of them, you shouldn't, you know, just like get a pet because you think it's gonna fix you or anything like that. But you know, if you have space to take care of shit. Which I did, and now I have cat. Um they are very cute. Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, sorry everybody got to hear that through my microphone because apparently I still have my computer speakers on and just didn't notice because I haven't been listening to anything or monitoring audio or anything like that. So here, let me fix that so that nobody has to hear the little dopamine noise echo a bunch of times. Um, but thank you for the follow. Everybody gets to watch the little dopamine spin for that. Uh, and that's actually the centerpiece of our drawing right now is the little astronaut boy. We haven't done a piece with him in a minute, so this is gonna be very cute. I kind of think of him as like the mascot, even though I don't use him very much. Um, because he's just a cute little dude, you know? He's just hanging out, riding his little spaceship. I don't know. It's either got to be the little dude or the cats are the mascots. Maybe they can all be the mascots. Uh, the missile is so cute though. Well, very cool. I have all sorts of links in my bios and stuff where you can leave comments on videos or whatever. So, when people leave their art on stuff, I do usually try to go look at it. I like seeing what people make. Or one time somebody made me some fan art and that was very sweet. Actually, I think two times. I think I've had two pieces of fan art now. That's so cool. I appreciate people doing cool stuff like that. It makes me feel nice on the inside. Uh I feel weird about this thing that I did with the tree branch, but it is too late now. So I'm gonna draw even more lines and hope that that fixes it a little bit. Good enough. Uh, I think probably the little astronaut boy. I was trying to remember where he came from, but I think he might just be accidental creation from random nothing. Video editing is interesting. I really kind of hate it. uh, but I think it is interesting in theory. Um, I I get my lovely little mod to do all of my video edits for me because I don't want to. But thank you. Uh I yeah, I don't want to do video edits like ever. Um but not because I don't think that video editing is cool. I just don't want to do it. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's kind of how my mod works too. He's very epic. He's like my one employee um who does not get paid enough from me. I feel I feel bad about not making money, so I can't pay him more, but I appreciate his efforts. Uh eventually. Eventually if the dopamine thing goes around and around and around, we'll have enough dopamine that I can share, you know? Oh, the cat left. He's so cute. It is not his birthday, it's the other one's birthday, but I think. Oh, the other one is in here too. He's asleep in the window. It is his birthday. They're both now full adult kitties of a year old, and plus some for the other one. Uh, and after this, they're gonna get treats and toys and be very excited. Uh, the little one, the new one whose birthday it is, he is so rambunctious. Thank you. I'm sure they appreciate the well wishes. They get plenty. They are well loved. Uh, by not just me, but also by me. And yeah, they are gonna get a bunch of little goofy stuff. I bought uh just like a bunch of little cheap toys, but also there's this thing that I bought that's like it's like a scratch board that hangs from a door, and then you can also just lay it on the floor. Like it has just like a little attachable rope, and I also it has like a little raccoon head, and it makes little chittering noises, and I have a feeling they are going to go absolutely nuts for that. Oh, parrots are so cool. My dad has not a parrot but a parakeet, and they they are such neat birds. I cannot imagine having an animal uh that big in my house that isn't uh as manipulatable as the cats, you know? Cuz like parrots like my cat, right? If my cat wants to do something I don't want it to do, I can just grab him and put him in a thing. And I feel like that is slightly harder for parrots. I'm sure you can still just kind of grab them and put them away, but I don't know. I feel like that would freak me out with a bird more than with the cat. Um and also I would feel a lot worse because my cats are strictly indoor cats, and I feel like I would feel a lot worse having a strictly indoor bird than I feel having a strictly indoor uh cat that is still allowed to sit in open windows. Um and even with that, I keep talking about building like a patio thing for the cats to sit in. Uh, so I don't know. But also, I feel like birds are probably a lot more maintenance. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but parrots, I think, are usually a lot of work. Um, and I get to split taking care of my cats with two other people, so uh, I don't have to do very much myself for the cats. I am very aware of my limitations with caring for things, and even the cats were I was kind of like, I maybe will have some spots where I just can't do this. Everybody else was like, yeah, that's fine. So apparently it's fine. Uh, but yeah, no, I can't imagine having to take care of much more than the cats. I had the cats and also a like literally just a yeast starter, not even like a whole animal. Um, for a while, and that was a little too much. I did not want to feed the yeast starter, and I let it go bad. Uh, so I probably should not commit to caring for more things or things that are more complicated than my cats. Uh, because my cats, I can just feed them at the same time, and then they will bother me if they want other things, you know? And then I also got like I got one of those little automatic fountains, and it is genuinely cheaper for me to give my cats fresh water out of this fountain than it is for me to get fresh water for me. Like the filter, the filter lasts like forever. Like I can run it continually, and it lasts for like a whole month. Oh, that's so sad. Yeah, I wouldn't. I would feel so bad. My cats get to be indoor cats. So there's a lot less chance of that. Because I am very, very anal about making sure that doors are locked and, things get closed behind people. And if one of the cats goes for a door when it's open or something, that I catch that. It's easier when you have like your own space to have the cats in. Um, But my cats hopefully don't ever get to run away because they get to stay inside. Uh, but also they are a little bit spoiled, so I don't think they have much interest in running away. Usually, if the door opens and they don't know what's on the other side of it, they skedaddle somewhere. Sometimes even if they know what's on the other side of it. So I think they're pretty content to be house cats. Um, they get fed very well. I bought them one of those tower perch things that is like taller than me and was way too expensive. And yeah, I I definitely spoil them a little bit, but they are so cute, and uh spoiling them a little bit convinces them to not destroy my stuff for the most part. So, it's a compromise. And by that I mean it's them playing me, but that's okay. I know what's happening, and I'm gonna be in denial about that making it better. Because they're very cute, and I like spoiling them a little bit. They are super cute. I know we haven't had a real on-camera cat cameo for the day, but uh, new people will have to trust me that the cats are very cute. And I think the stream end screen still has cat cameo picture on it, so maybe I'll go steal that one real quick, and then we can. I mean, it is Mushi's birthday. We have to have cat cameo for the birthday. I think it's only fair. Mm, this one here. They can sit over top of my pens, off to the side. Ta-da! They're so cute. So yeah, uh Mushi is the stripy one, and Missile is the gray one. Like I said, they have kind of also become the unofficial mascots. Yeah, they're adorable. Missile I got on purpose. Yeah, they are both little boys, and they are rambunctious as heck, but yeah, he sleeps so chill. They both sleep so calmly, and then they just wake up and are a little bit insane. Um, but this was them chilling in the sun, so there was some calm here. Uh, Fun cat fact: uh, house cats have a mechanism uh in their protein conversion that acts a little bit like photosynthesis. So that's why cats really like to sleep in the sun, because they get energy from it. Hi, Bubby. Oh, he left. Okay. Sometimes he comes up and he like taps me because he wants my attention. Uh, but he just walked off. So I guess he didn't want anything. He just wanted to say hi. He's very cute. That was Missile. if Mushi wants my attention, he'll probably just come jump up on the back of the chair and then you guys will see him, but I think he's still sleeping. Yeah, he's still asleep. They were pretty much doing it. This picture is like weeks old now, but they were pretty much doing this just now. Mushi is still asleep. Nah, you guys are perfectly fine to yammer on in the chat, if that's what you're on about. Uh, Either way is fine with me. But thanks for stopping by. It was cool to, get some little dopamine rounds for everybody and hang out with new people is always fun. Uh, but yeah, the cats are so cute. I love them so much. Um, I really appreciate that they are about. And uh honestly, I think they probably helped me a little bit out of like some real art block BS. I don't have a Discord because I don't um yeah, I just don't. I don't have like a social media Discord thing, but I do have a little Reddit subreddit thing that I started, and there's like not really anything in there, but there are some people that joined. So probably that is where I am sending people officially, unofficially now. And people did tell me my DMs were working on there, so yeah, if anybody wants to get in touch with me for business inquiries or for funsies or whatever, that's probably where I am sending people for the time being. I did have a website for a little while, but I'm not paying for it at the moment, so it's not not accessible to you guys, unfortunately. Um but yeah, for right now I think the subreddit is where I'm sending people. If you guys want to send me like memes or post your artwork, I think I have it set up so you guys can do any of that. But I know my DMs are working, so if it's not, you go ahead and ping me about it and be like, "Hey, this is broken. Fix it. Why is this broken?" Uh, and I will try to be on top of that. Yeah, I think that is probably my most open line of communication at the moment. I did have also DMs on X, now X, when it was Twitter, but I don't want to be on there anymore, so I haven't been using it really. And maybe there are old DMs on there and people have tried to contact me there and I didn't know and I'm sorry, but yeah, I haven't really been using that one. Um, I think when I updated all my links, I put that I haven't really been using that one. Um, but yeah, Reddit should still be fine. If you guys leave me comments on YouTube, I do usually read all of those. Uh, and all of these VODs go up there if you guys want to go see some of that because you missed it. Um, I do I do usually read and respond to like all of the comments. that is still very manageable for me. While there are not that many. If one of my videos gets super huge or something, and I have many comments to respond to, that may change. But for now, I can still respond to all of you guys. And I would like to. So if you guys leave me comments on there, I will do my very darndest to get around to all of you. Um, but yeah, probably Reddit is still going to be faster for me just because I end up on there uh more than other social media. Uh, I end up using Reddit as like kind of a resource for lots of stuff. I mean, obviously, I don't think that everything is worth listening to people on the internet about, but some stuff like art things or like my computer is being dumb and it's not something I can fix with software, or like if I don't know, if like a game breaks, something, where crowdsourcing information is appropriate. I think that Reddit is usually a really good resource for crowdsourcing information. And I end up needing crowdsourced information a lot, I guess. Sometimes I feel like, if you look up just like technical solutions to things, you end up getting lost in semantics of the solution instead of actually figuring out how to do stuff. And so sometimes I think crowdsourcing information is appropriate for stuff like that. Um, for just like, how do I do this? How does this work? Uh, is this broken or am I just being a little bit silly? And yeah, I think that probably ends up being way better than just like technical instructions for some stuff. Obviously, technical instructions are really good for some stuff too, like I need a blueprint of my fridge. Like I don't think you probably should ask Reddit for a blueprint of your fridge unless you have like a super old fridge and you're like asking somebody to antique search something for you or something. I don't know. Uh, but just like, I figured out that my fridge needs this new part. How do I put it in without like making my fridge explode? Or I, you know, had this interaction with another person. Was I the one being silly? Stuff like that I think is really good to have crowdsourced answers for. And obviously, with crowdsourcing information, you have to take into account that the people giving you the answers are, in fact, people and not necessarily like experts on the thing that you're asking or whatever. They are, in fact, just other Joes. But, uh, but for some stuff, I think that that is still appropriate for looking for things. Um, and I think I end up just with a lot of weird questions that have decent crowdsourced answers. I would love to say that that is because I have such unique problem solving skills and I just like am such a cute little whatever, but no, I think it's probably mostly because my mom sucks butt, and so there are some just like really common things that like people just know that I don't, and it's like, okay, cool. Uh, so everybody has known this for like, you know, forever, and yeah, okay, great, great. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my cave now. Um, but my crummy mother aside, I do end up with just like weird problems. Um, like my very specific computer, uh, which is now kind of old, has this weird compatibility issue that I can't fix with like a bunch of very specific games, and it's not my drivers, and what the heck is wrong? Or like, uh, oh, or okay, so it's super dry here, and people have heard me talk about that, and I bought a humidifier. I bought a pair of humidifiers and I only plugged one in, but I bought a humidifier for the house and apparently if you like actively put humid air into your house, it can change like the way your stove works, I guess. Like your stove is your stove is like I don't know, your stove is like sensitive to I guess because it's fire, you know, I have a gas stove and I don't have a nice little electric stove. But because my stove is fire, it combusts different when the air is humid in my house. And so I was like freaked out. I thought like my stove was gonna break or something. I thought like maybe my gas was like leaking or something weird. I didn't know. Um, and so I looked it up and somebody on Reddit was like, yeah, if you put humidifiers in your kitchen or like by your kitchen or like in your house enough that it gets to your kitchen, your flames will turn red because it's harder for your stove to combust, basically, right? Um, so even though they're supposed to be blue and or a little bit orange, they were like very, very red and very orange, and I was like, oh my god, am I about to like burn the house down? But no, apparently I just had to turn the humidifier off for a little bit. Try again later type stuff. Uh, but yeah, I would have not known. I would have just sit there and freaked out about it. And it's not like my oven manual is gonna tell me don't turn on the humidifier in your house. Uh, or my humidifier manual didn't say anything about, you know, don't run this in your kitchen or anything like that. Uh, so I think probably that was one of the only ways I was gonna learn that was just Googling why the heck did my stove suddenly turn red. Um, and apparently if I hadn't had the humidifier, it definitely could have been a gas leak. So that was cool to know. If I'm ever not running the humidifier and that happens, then I can worry. Uh, but for now it seems like that was in fact the issue. And I cannot worry about it. Um, Hmm. You know what, guys? Maybe I think hmm. I'm debating if I want to. Oh, coaster stuck to the bottom of my cup. Um, I want to put color in the sky background, I think, but I'm not sure if I want to just add like texturing, like black texturing to the sky, or if I want to get out blue, blue color. But oh, you know what? I think okay, I have these pens from a different uh actually these are just from the store. These are just from the Art Snacks store because they do have little loot box things, but then they also have just like a store. Um and aha. Okay. So I'm gonna do let me put these the rest of these somewhere where I'm not gonna screw everything up. Um I'm gonna use this. So this is uh not not the Sakura company, but a different Japanese pen company. This one's called Kuretake, and I have a couple of these pens too. Japanese pens just end up being really nice. If it says made in Japan and it's not by Copic, because you guys have heard me complain about Copic, but yeah, if it's not Copic and it is made in Japan, I will say that that usually means it is a better art supply. Um, and this one is a really nice little felt tip pen. Uh, and it comes in a couple of different colors. I have a couple of different colors, but I'm gonna use this navy blue because I want to add. I am gonna add some sky. Uh, and I think I'll probably just add some basic line work that's just like some rays coming out of the sun, and I'll just try to be very fine about that. But these pens are super nice, and you're gonna see as I use them here, they keep really fine, clean lines, even with the colored ink. And I really enjoy using them. Uh, I had just one of these before that I got out of like an art snacks like little surprise box thing. And it was really really cool. But it was also green, like dark green, and I yeah, I couldn't really think of things to use it in a lot of the time, and that ended up being most of the reason that it didn't get used very much. So at some point, I don't remember if it was for like Christmas or maybe it's for like Valentine's Day. Sometimes they'll have sales for like Valentine's Day. But for something or other, they had a sale where these were a really good deal. I think they were only like $2 a piece. Um, so like even less than the Micron pens, and these are definitely a higher end art supply than the Micron pens in my not yet professional opinion, you know. But I do really enjoy using these. I think that the line quality for these is way better than most colored pens I've used, and uh and the ink is really nice. I complain a lot about ink and about colored ink, particularly having variation, because I have hypersensitivity, and my senses just pick up more stuff than other people's senses. Um, and I can't filter it. I can't like go back to looking at uh less things, right? So sometimes little tiny variations of the color that people can't even really see for the most part will just really bother me. And yeah, this one does not have so much of that problem. Like right here, it kind of looks like there's maybe some variation, but it's mostly just variation in me, the human person, building some little tiny lines. The pen is being very consistent, and I so appreciate that. I love any art supply that makes me feel like all of my mistakes are my mistakes. Because there are definitely art supplies that just make people worse at art. And uh I'm gonna call out this freaking stupid Copic brush pen. This I keep trying to use this because I want it to work, and it's just bad. I don't recommend using this pen. Um I don't recommend using drawing tablets that are uh really super cheap and off brand, because like there are some things where it will just make you worse to use crappy cheap art supplies, because you will feel bad about your art not coming out like you want it to, and then there won't be real ways to fix it, so you will compensate for that instead of like, you know, enhancing your artwork, which is stupid. And uh yeah, if you don't know it's happening, you just feel like you're a bad artist. You just feel like other people deal with this, other people use this art supply. Why can I not make this art supply look nice? And uh I have seen plenty of people just get really down on themselves because like they have either like an iPad with like a really bad stylus, or like they have like a crappy pencil and they don't want to work in like lines, or they, you know, like I've seen lots of people just like get really down on themselves about the supplies that they have. And then I've also seen people get really down on themselves because the supplies that they have are terrible. Um and not like just bad, like they are not enjoyable experiences, right? Even for art. And like I am totally all for that you can make art in the mud and enjoy it. But making art in the mud is not going to give you the same kind of pieces that making art with watercolors will, right? Like it's not the same. And even though I totally believe you can make art in the mud and enjoy it, I don't think I would enjoy making art in the mud because I have a lot of hours and time put into not working in the mud, you know? Like I think if I had spent lots of time I mean, I do like little clay stuff. It's kind of mud. But, you know, if I had spent time like drawing in the dirt, I know there are people that make really cool stuff like just drawing in the dirt. There are plenty of people that make cool stuff with whatever. Um, but if you're doing stuff with art supplies that are, you know, you have to understand how your art supply works, right? Like even if you're using one of the art supplies where I said before that like will make you feel worse, right? Like even if I'm using this, right? Like I have used this a couple of times now. I have put this onto some drawings and made it work. But to do that, I had to accept that that pen was not going to make the kinds of lines that I wanted it to. It was not going to go down in flat, nice little spaces, and I was going to have to work around that. Um, and if I do that, that makes that pen useful for some specific things. And I can use it to put down like large areas of ink and not feel so bad about the large amount of ink that that's using because it's kind of a crappy pen, you know? But it does have a big old brush nib on it, and that makes it very useful for putting down just like big washes that are black ink and I don't want to use a different pen, right? Even though that isn't really what brush pens typically are for. That brush pen just happens to kind of stink at being a brush pen. Um, and some drawing tablets, right, stink at being drawing tablets. And I think probably there are definitely tablets that are built just so that you can like have a movable interface, and they're not necessarily meant to be for things like games or drawing. And if you try to use them for things like games or drawing, they end up being bad supplies because they just are not that responsive, or like maybe the little tracking thing is not that good, or maybe you just don't like using it. Maybe it's just like my drawing tablet that's the nice one I have for my computer right now. Uh I have like pretty much no problems with the actual like using the tablet. Like that is definitely an enjoyable experience for me, but also um it's kind of it's kind of older at this point, and when I bought it, it didn't have the really nice cable setup that the Huions have now. So I have like this huge Huion tablet that uh is a little bit old, and so I have to calibrate it a lot, and it also has a lot of cords that I have to plug in. I have to plug in like three different cords just to my computer, and then power cord, which is pretty excessive, honestly. For I mean, I get that it is like a side computer, like it has its own little processing thing, and it has like it has to have power and it has to have video and all of that, but also it's just old enough that that was really inconvenient to plug everything into my computer. And yeah, if I wanted to replace it, it would cost just as much to buy on sale now as it cost me to buy on sale in like 2020. And yeah, I can't afford that. I can't afford to just buy a new one. I mean, I probably technically could, but I feel like that's not a wise investment, is my point. I feel like that is a silly use of my money to just buy a new one. Because I have one, but I also really don't want to use it. So, yeah, that's the whole catch 22 with the tablet there. Um, but if you have a crappier one, right? Like you have one that uh really isn't built for drawing, I still think you can totally draw on it anyway. You just have to understand what the limitations of that tablet are, and then you are spending time and energy putting skills into like the supply that you're using as opposed to your artwork, right? Like I think that that can be true for like any art supply also. Like there are definitely like markers specifically are a good one. Like lots of marker brands will act differently than other marker brands, and because of that, people end up putting a lot of time and effort into figuring out how one set of markers works, and then they will go and try to draw stuff with a different set of markers, and it will just be really bad, really terrible, completely horrible experience, and they go, oh well, you know, markers just are terrible and I don't want to do them. um but I think that you can still put skill into your art supply and then make stuff even with bad art supplies. I just think that if you have the opportunity to get yourself at least art supplies that aren't going to make you work around them, that is usually I think where the baseline for enjoyment should be for art supplies. Um, because if you're working around your art supply, then you're making your brain do stuff that is not art. It's like technical stuff. Uh, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but it's just, you know, giving your brain extra stuff to do. And I think that that is probably the big thing where new artists will complain about not having like expensive supplies, myself included. I definitely did this when I was a newer artist, where nicer supplies definitely allow you to do less work because they act more like what you're expecting. Um, and the less you pay for an art supply, typically, the more you will have to work around any sort of small defects that nicer supplies would work out, right? And again, I don't think that that means that you can't make good art with cheaper supplies. It just takes more effort almost all the time. And and then I think additionally to that, a lot of the time when people by the time people do get nicer supplies, um they have some skills built up, right? They have already spent some time on some cheaper supplies, and that ends up making the people who have to use newer supplies, right, that they don't have to work around anymore, that ends up being kind of like a shell shock moment where like you still try to work around stuff that's not a problem anymore and you end up with like weird results. Or you also might see like as not that person, you might see that person uh who already had done some work with cheaper supplies where they had some skills built up in both the medium and, you know, their specific little screwy whatevers that their supply did. Um, and then they get nicer supplies and they don't have to deal with all of that anymore, and suddenly their art looks like 1,000 times better, and it's not usually because those supplies are nicer, it's just usually because those people are spending the same amount of effort on the piece and the supplies are letting them do more with that effort. Um so it's just usually easier to use. I don't think it's necessarily even about like things like the color quality or like even necessarily like things like my brush nib that I can't get to make straight lines. Like I totally think even though I cannot get it to make a clean straight line to save my life, if I had to use it as one of those cookie cutter things in Squid Game, I would just die. Um, but if I had to use that by itself for a whole art piece and make something cool, I still totally think I could. I just think it would be a lot of effort that I don't want to put in for something that's not going to look like I'm expecting. And I think that that is where the big difference is with art supplies usually is just the effort that it takes to get things that you're expecting. Um, and and yeah, I think Japanese art supplies in general usually end up with really standardized, like very uniform results. And I think probably that's a big part of the reason that most of them end up being better, even when they're cheaper, um, than just like a big pen or something, or Ticonderoga or something that I would buy that's here from the US. Uh, I don't know. Excuse me. I feel like art supplies would be one of those things where you would want to regulate them really heavily just because of people being exposed to them really consistently and uh them just being pretty versatile usually. Like, I mean, this is a blue pen. I can use a blue ink pen on like documents or I could use this for all sorts of crap that isn't art, and um or I could use it for all sorts of crap that is art but that's not on paper. And I think that it's weird a little bit that there's so much variation in some art supplies, uh, especially for what they cost. I'm complaining about Copic again, if that wasn't caught yet. Um, I I don't have any particular beef with Copic. I swear, I'm not actually trying to cancel Copic or whatever, but I genuinely have had just very bad experiences using their markers, and that is so sad because I think when I used their markers the first time, it was like brain blast. Like I was so excited. I was like, this is what markers can be. This is so cool. But I had also only really used like Sharpies before that, or maybe like some really cheap fabric markers or something. Like, I hadn't really used like art markers before I had tried the Copics. And I think since trying Copics, I have had a lot of love for oh gosh, I'm totally blanking on the name. Are Sorry, here, I'm checking my notes, and by that I mean I'm opening my marker bag to see what these are called. Um, oh gosh, these are freaking knockoff ones. Well, I have some knockoff alcohol markers from Amazon that my sister bought me a while ago. And honestly, knockoff knockoff alcohol markers from Amazon, not even not even that bad. Uh pretty all right. I think that those are something like 3 or 4 years old now, and uh, I would be pretty confident that I could pick one of them up that I hadn't used a lot of, that wasn't dry anyway, and it would still work. And the color quality is definitely not as nice as the Copics, but it's not a big difference either for the price quality. I would expect it to be a lot worse. Um, I I feel like the Copics end up being one of those products where you're paying a lot of money just for the brand, which is kind of sad because I really do like the color quality of the Copics for the most part. Um, I mean, like I said, I'm kind of a snob about the color quality of stuff usually, and I do really like the Copic colors. I think they are really nice, and I think if I had them uh in a slightly nicer format, I would use them a lot more. But the plastic marker capsules that the Copics come in are just really terrible. They don't get fitted properly a lot of the time, which is crazy because they cost like $5 a piece. And then also, all of them have like these care instructions that tell you about how if you don't use them for like 60 days or something, that like that marker will just dry up and you will have to replace like all of the internals and everything, and you might as well just buy a new marker. And like, if you just have like a set, like a dozen of those markers, that's one thing. But I got really into the Copics when I started using them because the color quality was really nice and I wanted to use them for everything. And so I bought quite a few of them. Like, I probably have like a few dozen Copics, which is not cheap. It was not a one time purchase of many markers. It was like I bought a marker as a gift for myself at the end of a week over many, 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 many weeks. Um, and yeah, that was really not cool for me because I then wanted to go and use some of those markers after having not for a while, and found out that like a bunch of them just didn't work, and I had to essentially buy a whole new marker, even though like one of the big selling points that Copic Tuts is usually how replaceable all of the pieces and stuff are. But it's like, if the marker, like if one color, like if I decide that I'm gonna buy like sepia brown for a piece, right? And I don't use sepia brown for 2 months, then that sepia brown needs to be replaced. Like, that seems like, I know 2 months seems like a long time, guys, but like, if I every single 2 months have to buy 40 new Copics for them to all work consistently, that is not sustainable for literally anyone. There are big art YouTubers that I know for a fact would not want to do that. Uh, because yeah, you just nobody wants to spend hundreds of dollars every couple of months on some freaking dry markers. Like that's terrible. Uh and I agree. I do not want to do that either. I also don't want to spend hundreds of dollars every couple of months on some dry ass markers. That's just no fun for literally anybody except for the people taking my money. And yeah, so Copic has gotten money from me for the last time, I think. Uh, at least directly on purpose. The Copic out of the Art Snacks box doesn't count because they just sent it to me. And if I get more Copics out of some Art Snacks box, those don't count either. Um, because I do really like Art Snacks, and they do a lot of stuff with Copic. Um, oh, you know what? I bet if I look up Copic, that other competitor that I was talking about will come up. Because, like I said, they are just kind of nicer markers. Dun dun dun, related products. Okay, hold on. Oh, who? That's who I was thinking of. Okay, thank you, internet. Um, yeah, hoo. Uh, I have had a couple of really nice Ohuhu markers so far. Way, way, way cheaper than Copic. Honestly, if I had to replace some Ohuhus every 2 months, like, I might not even care that much. But, they also don't cost $4 or $5 a pen, so that would be the difference there. Um, and they do still, I think usually the inks are a little bit darker. I think that's one of the things the Copics do really well that lots of other markers miss is the light colors, like pastels and lighter grays and stuff, I think end up just by necessity of the way that ink works. I think lots of marker companies find it kind of hard to get pigments into paler colors that are still going to be like deep and consistent. Um, and yeah, I think that is one of the things where Copic definitely has the win. But Ohuhu, I think, still has really nice color qualities in the colors they do have. And I think that, you know, if you're using a color, it's always easier to build on it than to take it away. So having no light values that are quite as light as the Copics is a little bit uh, uh disappointing, but I don't think it I think they were still like miles better for price than the Copics were. And I'm just saying were because I don't do a lot of marker stuff anymore. I totally should do more marker stuff, but I don't know. I have been a little bit tapped on like everything recently. Uh maybe since they finally know something that's wrong with me, I will feel better physically soon, and maybe that will encourage me to do some more things, but we'll see. Um Maybe also won't be that. Uh but yeah, I think that spending lots of money on traditional art supplies is not something that you should do uh pretty much ever. Like if you have like love of watercolor and you really need to spend like $10-12 on that very specific shade of green that only comes from beetles or whatever, and you can only buy them once a year or whatever the frick else, like I like that is fine if that's something that you really really want to do. I'm not trying to knock that either, because some people really like having specific supplies, or I really like my very specific pencil, even though it's probably the exact same as many other point fives, and it is a little bit more money, but it's not like a ridiculous amount of money, and it's also not something that I am not going to use, right? Like it's I'm spending a decent amount of money on something that I am going to use consistently, and that if I spent less money on it, I would use less consistently, right? Like it all goes back down to that thing I said before, where like you really got to just spend enough money that you don't feel like it's working against you. Um, like, as long as it's enjoyable for you to use, like, that is really all that matters, I think. Because everybody does art different, and everybody is going to have a different experience of stuff. Um, so, even if you do just buy really nice, fancy art supplies, like, maybe it won't even be fun for you because, like, they actually do something different than your cheap pencil that you really like, or you end up like, I don't know, you end up breaking one of the three primary colors and not wanting to buy a whole new set, and so you never use them. Like, there are plenty of reasons that nice fancy, or sometimes nice fancy art supplies like the Copics are just a lot of money for stuff that's not that much nicer. um I'm gonna keep calling out Copic until they tell me to shut up, because yeah, I don't like them. They make me mad. And I wish they cost less money, because then I could use them consistently. Um, but they are not worth what they are, and I'm gonna keep saying that. Uh, but yeah, if you just buy something that you want to use that isn't so terrible it makes you not want to do the thing, right? That I think is the bar. And uh Copics are not terrible, for the record. Like, I really do like the art supply, I really do like the ink quality, I really do like the brush nibs, but they are too much money for what they are. Because my Ohuhus, I really like all of those things about, and they cost me half as much. Oh, this is so cute, guys. It came out so good. Uh, Excuse me for doing stupid voice there while I stretch, but this is actually so cute. I like this a lot. I We should do more stuff with the astronaut boy, because I do not use him enough for being the unofficial mascot. I'm just kind of giving his little helmet some shine here. And then I'm gonna do the Inktober on the bat this time. We're gonna be fancy. And I think we're gonna be done, guys. I have been yammering y'all's ears off for many hours now. And like I said, it's my kitty's birthday, so I want to go be really nice to him. But we'll see if we can get this really nice, cute little emblem in here real nice, and then, at least do our cute little outro, let you guys stare at the finished piece. I have gotten very good at doing this little Inktober thing from memory. I don't even really look at the little prompt thing anymore. And this one is a little bit squished because it's on the bat, but I still think it looks a lot like the logo and still looks pretty good. See, that's the other thing that I was saying earlier is, practice, guys. Practice is important. I practiced drawing this silly little Inktober logo. How many times now? I've drawn it. This will be time 13, right? Because it's the 13th. And, now it is like I don't even have to look at the thing. I can just kind of do it. I'm sure it looks nicer if I look at the thing, and maybe I should have because it got a little bit squished, but I don't have to because I just remembered because I practiced. We're gonna put our little prompt down here on the back because, again, this was for Horizon. Not Verizon. Horizon. Not sponsored. I think I'm gonna color in this other little bat. And here, we'll use the Copic BS for this because I can get it to do inside the lines okay, as long as I don't get too close. Because like I said, it does not do lines very well, which is sad because it's a brush pen and I feel like that is the point of brush pens. But I can color stuff. Yeah, like see, actually maybe you can't see, but on my end you can see that I just went outside the lines a little bit with the bat, even trying that hard to be careful about it. Because I just moved the pen a little too fast and this thing stinks. But oh well. And we gotta get our little signature on here. Can't forget that. How would anybody know that you guys watched this right here, you know? Something like that. I don't know. Doop. And ta-da! It came out so good, guys. I really like the Inktober pieces. I think they've all been coming out really good. And yeah, thank you guys so much for sitting and doing this one with me. I hope you guys have been liking these ones too. I'm gonna leave it there and go hang out with my birthday cat. And yeah, I hope you guys liked this. This was super fun. I'm gonna do, I think, two more of these. Um, and maybe we'll see about doing some more fancy, fun, big pieces after October, but uh, that would require me to have something to do that I thought of all on my own. So who knows if we have enough creativity for that? We'll see. If you guys want to watch the rest of this and you missed some, go ahead and these go up here on Twitch after I get off, and they go up on YouTube eventually. That's not really always on a stable timeline, but if you check back like a week or so afterwards, they should be up. At least by the next one, they're usually up, and usually, like I said, it's not always a stable timeline, but I do my best, and I try my best to be a good boss for my single employee so he doesn't quit, you know, so it's a balance. And yeah, so all of that should be up there though eventually if you guys want to watch the rest of this, and if you guys want to watch some of my other stuff or my October from last week, all of that is up here and on YouTube. And if you guys want to connect with me about any of it, or if you have a suggestion for something I can do after Inktober is over and I have to come up with my own ideas again, go ahead and leave all of that stuff on Reddit, which I think is probably still my most open line of communication. All my links should be updated now, so if you guys want to check me out somewhere else and you want to see if I have one of those, all of my links for everything should be in the same place in my bio now, and go ahead and check that out. And hope you guys had a good time. Hope you guys have a good week. I'm gonna get off, and yeah, feel free to sit around and stare at the little astronaut boy for a few minutes until the stream goes out or whatever, and yeah, I will see you guys all next week. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.